Okay, so you guys know how for the past month, Kanye West has wanted to talk about literally nothing besides how the Jews control the world. That's like the only thing he's wanted to talk about. And all of his talking points just sort of coalesced around that, and that's it, and that's all he wants to talk about. He went on the Tim Pool podcast, and he was just like, yeah, okay, let's talk about the Jews. And Tim was like, okay. And then Kanye was like, I think they control the world and they're bad. Tim was like, I don't know. And then Kanye left. Well, he went on InfoWars. He went on Alex Jones show in a very fashionable gimp mask with noted boy motor Nick Fuentes over here wearing the same dirty hoodie that he's been wearing the whole past week. The full stream of which we can't look at due to cucky YouTube community guideline shit because they're incredibly inconsistent with their guidelines. So
we're gonna. I gotta watch my accounts because they've been frozen by the Jewish banks. So I need.
So basically, in the aforementioned NASCAR Guy Fieri gimp attire, my man Kanye over here came over here and continued to talk about the subjects that he found most interesting, which, you know,
Need to watch my meals.
Well, CNN says white people are evil Nazis, so I mean, I disagree with both statements, but I get the pros.
I don't like the word evil next to Nazis. I think we need to look at.
Oh my goodness! Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
It's genuinely remarkable to reach a density of Hitler particles that even Alex Jones kind of like awkwardly laughs at. Do you know what it takes to make Alex Jones awkwardly laugh? Do you have any idea how far you have to go to make Alex Jones awkwardly laugh? That takes a lot.
Oh man! Well,
Oh, you crazy card, Kanye. You wacky guy. Let's move on.
Disagree with that. Hey, but listen, we're gonna go to break. I'm the crazy one here. We're all crazy. The whole world's crazy, and the whole power structure's coming down. This is absolutely lit. This is lit.
Look at this. Literally, like, I want to be clear, by the way, Alex Jones is a Nazi, or at the very least is okay with spreading Nazi ideas for profit. Probably like 98% a grifter. Alex Jones will say anything. The real problem with Kanye West is that he's too mentally ill to keep the lid on, you know, the way other conservatives do.
Guys, David Icke's little reptoids. So now your enemy's in here hosting the show with you, yay. We got Nick Fuentes, one of my best buddies. He works for us, does a really good job. He's over there with us. Oh, now he's turning to Alex Jones. So what are we going to do here? Yay. The Balenciaga situation. You made a great point during a break earlier about how they just need a new devil, but that's a devil to distract us from the fact that we become the devil. But that's kind of what you said. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I just saw people.
Oh, I was hoping Kanye would have a new mask. That's kind of disappointing. I was kind of hoping he would have a cool mask on. Why is the Gorn here? Don't worry about it, okay?
Making videos about it, and I said, it just seems like it's just more noise and mayhem and code red and things to get people outraged. As I said before, every form of pornography is only 10 years away from pedophilia. Anybody that's watching pornography, if you're watching a woman have sex on camera, she's reliving the trauma of being molested. Like,
interesting. Do I try to break this down? Like a political opposition to pornography, a very like common conservative talking point. You might think it's just prudishness, but it's not just prudishness. A lot of it is also the fact that far-right politics and fascism in particular are kind of rooted in male sexual insecurity. And so the fascists will constantly try to find like sources of their perceived sexual emasculation. If you go into any fascist forum or talk to a fascist or anything like that, you will constantly see them talk about how elements of modernity are like emasculating and sexually weakening them. And a big one is pornography. You see a lot of this with like the no fap movement, where they are like obsessed with the idea that pornography is sapping testosterone and sperm count from men, which isn't true. The real reason that sperm count and testosterone levels seem to be dropping is in all likelihood because of plastics, the type of food we eat, general levels of activity, stuff like that. Not pornography, but but there's always a yeah, there's always they have to find like a cause of this. This thing though, this like every woman who's recorded fucking is reliving her trauma. That comes across to me as like a more of a confession than anything. That's extremely weird. Yeah, that's yeah, yeah, I don't know about that. Like, if you're having sex with a chick, but like one of you takes a selfie of her getting gaped or whatever, like, is that now traumatic? It doesn't make any sense, you know. I guess the it's a lot of it's probably a dig at Kim Kardashian. A lot of it is probably also the idea that the kind of woman who would have sex in front of a camera is like more damaged than the kind of woman who wouldn't, which is, let me be clear, not even remotely true. The idea that like people who are in sex work are more likely to have been victimized or sexually molested or whatever, there's a huge like concurrent or like lurking variable there. And it's the fact that people who are in sex work tend to be more comfortable opening up about stuff like that because their industry is adjacent to like a lot of like conversations surrounding consent. Whereas there are plenty of like quiet, mousy trad girls who were molested by their uncles all throughout their childhood, who will just never talk about it. Vosh also Kanye showed nude photos of Kim at business meetings. Interesting. Neat.
A greater majority of women that end up being strippers, prostitutes, or pornographers, adult film stars, have gone through the trauma of experiencing pedophilia, but sex is a legal drug that's pushed to destroy humanity.
Okay.
If you drive down the street in California, they will be pushing strip clubs, they're pushing alcohol, they're pushing sex. It's this is like, so for people
They're pushing books, they're pushing hot dog stands, they're pushing Italian food.
to have this moral code about pedophilia, but no moral code about strip clubs, pornography, and the sex industry, it's not what the Bible says. The
By the way, guys, if you ever see anything like conquerseries.com, what do you think that is? Conquerseries.com. How to quit porn forever. Explore strongholds that keep men in bondage. Discover the weapons and strategies of God. And there's a bunch of fighter jets. The fighter jets look cool. So yeah, anyway, hopefully this goes without saying, but these images are bullshit. I get, is the implication here that like pornography and heroin both literally cave out your brain? I have no idea what they're even trying to say here. I don't even know what message they're trying to deliver. Like your brain's literally like it does to your brain what smoking does to your lungs or something. Yeah, I don't know. Your brain just instantly disappears. The moment you look at titties on a screen, your brain just caves in. You look like the three-head guy.
Bible says that all of that is wrong. So Jesus said so, or Jesus said no. That's when we just need to
So let me ask you this. What about world?
We're doing the clip show here.
But for the ADL, I want to say there's a lot of good
For the oh boy.
I don't hear anything from the ADL or anybody else.
But for the ADL, I want to say there's a lot of good Nazis that were just fighting for their country. And for them all,
Like George Soros.
for them
Okay, so yeah, like I said, Alex Jones will gladly spread Nazi talking points with like no issues. There's a conspiracy theory that George Soros was a Nazi collaborator. He was, of course, like a 14-year-old boy when the Holocaust happened, and he is a Jew. He escaped the Holocaust, and he survived, I believe, as by being taken in by like a wealthy, sympathetic patron who was like housing some people. You know, like, oh yeah, this, yeah, you know, in Hungary right? Or Budapest, yeah, where you know, like, chill out for a bit. I'll tell the authorities you're not Jewish, you know.
all to get put in a box. They're all in a box. Every Nazi's bad. Well, could some of the Nazis have just been fighting for their country? Oh, they're all. Oh, we can't put them all in a box.
No, I get you're explaining that, like you said, you love the Zionists. You don't agree with some of the things they're doing, even though you don't support a lot of what's happening. Seriously, I've really studied a lot of history. Plus, I had family that was there, and so I mean, I don't think Hitler was a good guy. I get the Hugo Boss uniforms, amazing. But I mean, just because you're in love with the design, you're a designer. Can we just kind of say like you like the uniforms, but that's about it?
No, we no. There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler.
What do you think?
A lot of things that I love about Hitler.
There we go. Didn't want to cut that one off. Sorry. What do you think of a German soldier during that time who was conscripted? Um, like here's the issue. Okay, the problem is, let's say you're a brave contrarian and you want to step up and you want to say, hey, not every Wehrmacht soldier was a Nazi. A lot of them were just conscripted dudes. You know what the correct answer to that is? Yeah, so what? That's the case for literally every army, or in fact, literally every large group of people at any time in any historical conflict. It's not exactly a hot take, no shit. Especially later in the war, a lot of the people who were conscripted were like boys, like 15-year-olds, you know? They ran out of men to throw at the conflict. So, like, congratulations. However, the clean Wehrmacht myth is just that, a myth, and a Nazi talking point. You'll see a lot of people who play a lot of Hearts of Iron say, you know, oh, the SS were bad, but the Wehrmacht weren't. No. Wehrmacht army divisions were used to cull Jewish populations and round them up for retrieval for the death camps. There were the Wehrmacht was not just some like separate independent group of patriots who were like unaware of or not related to the Holocaust. They directly engaged with every level of occupation, collaboration, rounding them up, killing them. Of course they did. It was the army of Nazi Germany. Why would they not do that? It's not like any of that crap was a secret. Yeah. Just yeah. They were complicit in everything. Yeah. I mean, you can feel bad for the people who were conscripted if you want. The problem is like, why do you think Kanye is sympathetic to the Wehrmacht conscripts? Kanye, who spent the past month doing nothing but talking about Jews and how Jews control the world. Do you think he just like coincidentally developed a humanitarian interest in the conscripted Wehrmacht soldiers who were not collaborators in the Holocaust? Like just two totally divergent points about the Jewish question and also a sudden interest in defending the Wehrmacht. You know, why does he actually feel that way? You know, just something to think about. So anyway, he was talking about Hitler.
A lot of things. Hey, Nedden, what did you?
Oh wait, really quick, by the way, you can see their reactions when he says this. Very funny.
That I love about Hitler.
Take a look at Alex. Take a look at Nick. Nick loves it because again, he's just like an E shit poster. He's just like, yep, yep. Alex Jones, you can see it right here. He's doing the oh boy face. Look, can you see it in the low res? He's doing the because you know Alex Jones just wants to capitalize on Kanye being canceled and how they're being censored by the deep state and blah blah blah. But there are limits that he can't cross as well, and Kanye just can't hold back.
A lot of things. Hey, Nedden, what did you think about that, Nedden?
All right.
This is insane. You are an insane person. How could you say something? It's okay that.
So let me ask you, you like the Azov battalion because they openly howl Hitler. They're the leftovers of World War II. They support Zelensky and attacking Russia. So you like the Azov battalion?
I love everyone.
Well, my point is you weren't involved with Hitler. You didn't do anything. So having the ADL say anybody that opposes communism and the New World Order is a Nazi, well, you kind of get what you give. You know,
no one cares about the ADL. They're played out. Jesus.
Well, they ran Twitter till last week. But yeah,
they don't run anything. No one knows the AD. No one cares. They're played out. Look at people have had a problem. Look at Clockwork Orange. There's a part where a Jewish guy makes the guy kiss the shoe, and he says, kiss the Jew. Like, people have had issues with Jewish people forever. But what I'm saying is,
as depicted sympathetically in Clockwork Orange. Did that even happen in Clockwork Orange? I don't even remember that. Did kiss the Jew instead of the shoe? Did that even happen? What? He does realize the Nazis executed retards. The funny thing is, if you could take Kanye back in time to 30s Germany, he might actually be killed for his mental unfitness before being killed for his race. Crazily, he might have actually jumped the gun. They might have gotten him on the those eugenics programs before even doing the whole like race Holocaust bit. Because my man is like, again, holy shit, probably needs people around him to make sure that he's got his pants on. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's got the fast pass. Yeah, he's pretty unwell. No, I remembered that there was a point where someone licked a boot in Clockwork Orange. I just didn't remember Jews coming up. I felt like I would have remembered that.
I love Jewish people. I love Jewish.
As we're talking about Stanley Kubrick, put the War Room background up. The end there. You think Clockwork Orange is about Jews?
Absolutely. Look at it.
I thought it was about a collapsing. You know, Stanley Kubrick was a Jew.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. Oh my god. I feel like he's being exploited for clout. Dude, you can't listen, he's being exploited, but like he's crazy powerful. It's not like the problem is that a ton of people want to leech off of him. They want to leech his popularity and his fame. But he's too crazy for most of them. I want to remind you guys that like this whole path that has led up to Kanye being a neo-Nazi was a path of him playing around with conservatism. Like, the whole road up until this point has been conservatism. The MAGA movement, the Red Hat, White Lives Matter with Candace Owens, palling around with Trump, flirting with the MAGA movement, like conservative. And then, whoa, all of a sudden, my dude's a Hitlerite. How did that happen? Whoa. A lot of these people, a lot of these conservatives either agree with or do not mind him being pro-Hitler. What they mind is him openly expressing it. Seriously, that is it. Like, literally, look at these two. I tweeted these. I'm going over it again. Okay, hold on. Laverne Spicer, she's got like the Blitler takes on Twitter. You've probably seen like some 40 IQ, like Democrats are racist types or whatever. In response to Kanye on Twitter, leave that Hitler talk out. Just did a 3-hour interview where he constantly like expressed neo-Nazi talking points. What is she saying? Not your ideology is bad. Be quiet about that part. Keep that part quiet. That Kim.com person, who libertarian, which means they're a Nazi, you were right about criticizing the collusion of Jewish business people in entertainment and media. The overreaction we received wasn't warranted. But with your statements about Hitler, you just handed them everything they need to shut you out forever. Not, keep in mind, your ideology is bad, but by being open, by being mask off, by saying the obvious part out loud, now you've made it optically bad. A bunch of conservatives, like a ton of them, are fully on board with the Nazi talking points. They just need Nazis to be quiet enough that they don't cause a stir. It's literally just, yeah, you're making us look bad. It is not. Oh yeah, sorry, the one reply to me. You don't know how to be objective from Evil Morty. Yeah. Phenomenal. Yeah, don't shine a light into our ideology. You know, don't actually like examine what it is we believe.
I want to say with Ben Shapiro, he was so disrespectful to his employee, Candace Owens, for speaking out against me. And that just showed you another level of this kind of control that's out there.
No, I agree. I like Candace. She has a lot of courage. She's a really smart, beautiful lady. She's really defended you. But, I mean, are you saying Ben Shapiro's got her on a leash?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Kinky.
You know, as our Paul Watson, we didn't launch her. She deserved it. But InfoWars launched Candace Owens.
Yes, but everyone is still controlled by the Jewish media. We need to serve Christ first. Christ first. I want to say with Ben.
Again, like, you can go through this as much as you want. And I'm worried about, like, how many clips I can show. You know what? Here.
Brands. Balenciaga, though, you were going to, I mean, just overall, what do you, because obviously you were with a lot of fashion brands. Now all the stuff's come out. It's almost like they did this on purpose as a PR stunt.
I think so. You know, I'm friends with the head designer, and I believe that it was a setup. I think it was a hit job. And now all of a sudden, everyone is so outraged and focused on Balenciaga, but then we're still aborting our kids. We're still fornicating. We're still still killing each other. We're still listening to music that promotes that. But we don't wear Balenciaga now.
Is he defending? Of course he is, because he worked with Balenciaga. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, we can't. Again, well, the Balenciaga satanic conspiracy theory is dumb to begin with, but like, we can't do that. We can't focus on that. There are still people fornicating.
You shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, what are you doing? You're throwing stones. Oh my God! But you know our moral code. We just cheated on our wives. We just fornicated. We just had threesomes. We just bought some sex on Instagram. We just sold some sex. We use sex to sell a product. But we don't like Balenciaga. Shut up. Shut up. I'm throwing the tablets right now. Shut up. Instagram is about prostitution, and everyone involved in any version of the sex business is as bad as the pedophile. So everyone shut up. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, is this just the Kanye version of me saying that banning CP but not banning child slave labor is morally inconsistent because you're still abetting the products of moral? Wait, did he just do that? He just did the same argument, except in this case, it was psychotic because both ends of the equation were insane. Oh my God, one struggle. I don't think he believes in anything. Nah. Kanye's not a grifter. He believes in everything that he's saying. It's just he's mentally ill. You got to run with that, folks. Past a point, you just have to accept, head empty.
And I didn't have the Hollywood experience you had. All the Jews in my life overall were very nice people. Is all I'm saying.
I'm actually tired of hearing about the Jews. Like, I love them. Honestly, I don't even care.
Stop talking about them
that much,
But we spent the last 2 hours talking about them. I mean,
because it's fun. It's fun.
You don't want to hear about them. You want to talk about them all day.
Because being canceled.
Even Alex is like, okay, then stop, please. Anything else? Don't say Jews. Say anti-Semitic dog whistles like the Deep State and George Soros. Can we please get back to the acceptable dog whistles, please?
It's fun because we're showing you guys the extent that you can go, right? Because everything at this point that you do proves my point. Watch this. If I say DEFCON 3 and then you cancel all of my deals, you proved exactly why I needed to go DEFCON.
No, I agree with what you said.
Literally, like, you make fun of this, but that's actually the logic. Like, dude, I lost my job after I said death to all Jews. So clearly they are in charge. You got it, dude. Wow, you've nailed it. You've found out the truth. Yeah, still saying DEFCON.
Let me stop you because Dave Chappelle.
Alex,
go ahead.
Let me channel.
All right, go ahead.
Channel. All right. If I and Dave Chappelle works for the Jews anyway. So if I say now I forgot what I had to say. Let me meditate. Let me get into a place.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Love you, brother. Jesus is king.
Because he works in Hollywood, I'm guessing.
Man,
I didn't say I was. I don't really care that much about Hitler. I love him. Seems like
you just do it as a way to like troll.
No, he seems like a cool guy. It's like he it's like he had a really cool outfit and stuff, and he was a really good architect. And
what? He didn't do any. Okay.
So you're in love with the look of it.
And he didn't kill 6 million Jews. That's just like factually incorrect.
Guys, get the Ronald Reagan clip they showed me yesterday. Sorry, go ahead.
Alex is like, please, God, move me off of this. Get me out of here. Please, God.
Reagan said that too. Well, I think Hitler did target and kill some people. So I think,
I think Obama killed Palestinians.
No, I hear you. Here's where I think the frustration is. And Nick, you can comment on this.
And Obama was not the first black president. He was another Jewish president.
Sure.
Americans are tired of hearing that we're Hitler and that we did bad things when we defeated Hitler. And that's my biggest beef.
Let's not say his name anymore. Only say Christ's name moving forward.
Do you think that Jewish doctor who prescribed him antipsychotics and like a gallon of lithium to drink every night is just watching all this with his arms crossed going like, man, I should have had that guy committed. I should have, he should not have been allowed to leave that hospital.
I agree.
Like,
I'm tired of hearing I'm a Nazi. I'm really, because I'm not. But I think by them falsely accusing people, some people are going to become Nazis.
I am. Now what? I am.
You're
now
what?
Well, there we go, I guess. I guess we got him. Second to last one. Last one.
Ye should be about. Well, I would say I don't think the story here with Ye should be about anti-Semitism or Nazis or any of that. To me, the human interest story is.
Though. They're fine.
But Ye, think about what you can do with your platform right now, because they want to make that the issue. Most people say, I grew up, the whole world. I'm talking about everybody watching this right now.
That's fine.
We want Ye to expose the corruption, the secrets, the societies like you've been doing. We want Ye to pull the curtain back on Hollywood, pull the curtain back on Balenciaga.
Okay, see, again, so like these are also Nazi talking points, right? We're all, okay, I'll get to that in a second.
Pull the curtain back on all this stuff.
None of it's sacrosanct. Everybody should be evenly criticized.
Well, I would say I don't think the story here.
Repeated. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Hold on. We gotta get to analysis here. Yeah, we saw the Netanyahu bit
It's like
where he pulls out the net.
Nick and Ye. Okay. I had
Using Netanyahu as like a representation of Jewish control of the world is really fucking funny because Netanyahu is also a Holocaust revisionist. Oh, Jackson Hinkle, our favorite MAGA communist Nazi or whatever, posted this.
In terms of Ukraine and Russia, I haven't really seen so much of that in the news. I'm, of course, pro-Putin. I'm very pro-Russia.
I am also.
Let's go. Yeah. You know, you see.
So that's good for all the lefties who have been defending Russia, I guess. You know, that's good. Just like the Hitlerite Council meeting together to agree unambiguously with no disagreement or qualifiers that they support Putin, you know? So that's good. I guess it all, yeah, this tweet kind of sums it up, right? Kanye West manager watching his interview.
Every human being has something of value that they bring, especially Hitler. Especially Hitler.
It's so funny, dude. Yeah, okay, wait, analysis. So here's the issue, okay?
Especially Hitler.
You guys, we haven't had like a clear-cut case of this basically ever. I genuinely don't think since the end of the Second World War that we've had anything this clear-cut of like a person gets more and more and more conservative, being supported entirely by conservatives along the way, and then becomes a Nazi, and all the conservatives are like, whoa, 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 you can't say that last part, okay? Keep that last part quiet. Like, it's such a perfect, like, concise example of that behavior. And I want to be clear, okay? There are, I want to kind of group this in, and I want to be unambiguous when doing so, because I feel like beyond just laughing at Ye being mentally ill, I have to like kind of deliver some sort of analysis. So listen, all right? In America, the conservative movement broadly has always made an effort to encompass the interests of neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and white nationalists. That has been the case at least from the 1960s up till now in a recognizable format, where, after the party switch, it's the Republicans now, but at least since the Republicans have been the unambiguously conservative party, an active effort has been made. Does that mean all Republicans have been Nazis? No. Republicans ranging all the way from crypto-Nazis to, like, neocons to honestly, like, conservative-leaning moderates have all been aware of the game. And the game is, we need to continue to cultivate these votes in ways that don't marginalize us from like the majority of people. You know, we need to be a party that is approachable and of value to the far right, up to and including neo-Nazis, without distancing ourselves from like the broader population. And they have done this in a variety of ways. Obviously, we all know about after the parties shift, they say Nixon with the drug war. You can't say the N-word anymore, so you have to make it abstract. You have to talk about busing. You have to talk about school rights and integration, that kind of stuff, We're very familiar with how that panned out. I've talked about it on the channel many times before. I suppose it never actually hurts to refresh our pointers. So let me do so quickly. Open, overt racism became really politically disadvantageous after the Civil Rights Act was passed. America politically had basically decided that racism was bad, and I know we kind of have that now, but for a while in America, the question as to whether or not open and explicit racial bias was like an acceptable political position, it kind of wasn't settled up until the passage of the Civil Rights Act. Before that point, you could literally like be a politician and just say, yeah, I think white people are better. And that would be like a platform you could run on. But after the Civil Rights Act, the country moved away from that. And there are still plenty of racist people, right? They didn't all like disappear because the act got passed. So how do you appeal to those people? Well, the Southern strategy refers to, among other things, the effort to find ways of developing talking points, rhetoric that appeals to racist people without openly endorsing racism, right? Like, so for example, it's no longer just black and white people are different. Now it's like, well, we don't want those welfare queens sucking up all of our government dollars. Hard-working taxpayers are losing money to this so-and-so. You have Hillary Clinton with like the super criminal thing, the idea that the inner cities of America are being, terrorized by like urban street thugs who are very prone to crime. Or super predator. Yeah. Sorry, super predator, not super criminal. That's probably like an Adult Swim show. You got forced busing. Like, well, how do we deal with the fact that schools in black neighborhoods and schools in white neighborhoods are wildly different in like class quality, Well, what if we use like school buses to move some students around to try to distribute like educational attainment and opportunities? So forced busing became a talking point that was essentially just a way of talking about race, And what we're seeing right now is what's called the death of the euphemism. As the far right gains power in this country, all of these euphemisms, all of these dog whistles, these terms for other terms become less useful as they find ways to just talk directly about the subject again. One of the clearest ways that we've seen this happening recently is through anti-Semitism. Now, anti-Semitism has been common in America for a long time, since it was founded, actually. It's a pretty young country. Anti-Semitism is like a long-standing thing, and that's in large part because there's been kind of like a long-standing bias against Jews from Catholics because they decided that Jesus was killed by the Jews, even though that's a ridiculous interpretation of historical evidence we have, and also he was Jewish himself, and just it goes on and on. But the point is, anti-Semitism has been common in America for a long time. Back when Adolf Hitler was gaining power in Nazi Germany, a lot of Americans liked him. Nazi rallies in America. Here, I'll just take a photo. Hold on. Nazi rally America 1930s. The Nazis were not that unpopular. Here, this is in Manhattan. I want you, this is in Madison Square Garden, one of the most famous venues on Earth. And there you have the Union, Nazi ideology, and American exceptionalism. George Washington shrined in between, American flags and, Americanized Nazi memorabilia. One of the largest Nazi movements in America was called the America First movement. It was an isolationist movement, primarily occupied by Nazis or Nazi sympathetic people, certainly controlled by Nazis, who wanted to promote isolationism as a way of keeping America from getting involved in the war that they knew was coming because Nazi Germany was annexing the Sudetenland and so on. And yeah. Oh, look at that. Sorry. You can actually see some of these banners. The Free American, Dead America's Something First, Stop Jewish Domination of Christian America. Ah, really not that far out of time. Also, this photo doesn't really show how many people were there. This is low res, but it's Madison Square Garden. I mean, like this would like I imagine like the biggest Taylor Swift rally and everyone there is a Nazi and there are still people crowding the gates outside the venue. It was a big event. Tens of thousands. Thankfully, there were Nazis in America, but there were other groups of people in America, like people who respected America's positive relationship with France and England and stuff. We were never going to take the side of the Nazis in World War II. There are some people who say, like lefties, who are like really cool and edgy, who are like, yeah, we almost joined the Nazis. No, we didn't. We took the side of the Allies. We always were going to. We were supplying them arms and weapons a long time before we got involved in the war. But what do you think happened to all the anti-Semitism in America when we started fighting against like the avatars of anti-Semitism, the Nazis? It didn't just go away. Nazis and anti-Semites in America just got like quiet, you know? They receded. They recognized they couldn't really bring that up anymore because they would get called Nazis, which now was a dirty word in America because we had sent troops over. You know, our boys were off there fighting Nazis. If you were a Nazi in the streets of America back during like 44 or 45, you would have gotten the shit beaten out of you. Return to tradition. So anti-Semitism in America kind of like receded, at least visibly. But the spirit of anti-Semitism has always been present in this country, even throughout that time period. And by the spirit of anti-Semitism, what I mean is the idea of, just being frank, pedophilic, satanic economic elites who control major systems in America and use them to try to destroy the Christian white man. That broader conspiracy theory has always been like a recurring motivator for conservative movements in this country. And what we're seeing right now, today, right now, is the last like thin sheets of deniability being pulled off that euphemism. You've been seeing a lot of George Soros in conservative media lately, haven't you? The deep state, George Soros. The use of the term cabal, specifically, that specific word, as opposed to other words that could be used to describe powerful groups of people. Conservative pundits and politicians know what they're doing. The extent to which they actually believe in this stuff can vary, but at the very least, they are fully aware of what they're actually signaling. Globalist is another big one. All of these tie back to original Nazi conspiracy theories. You know, the globalist one ties into the idea that Jews, being the financiers of capitalism, are looking to destroy America by making it part of a new world order, a one world government, or alternatively, by making American culture and our ethnography bland by bringing in masses of brown people from the third world and diluting our culture with capitalism and big glass buildings with no character, which are an issue, but that is a capitalism issue, not a Jewish issue. That's a pretty common one. Yeah, you hear a lot about like globalism. You hear a lot about George Soros. I mean, we saw Alex Jones talk about George Soros. Again, he is a billionaire, which makes him bad. As billionaires go, he's a relatively good one. Like, again, we're grading on a steep curve here. Billionaires do not get that wealthy without stepping on a few million faces. But as billionaires go, he's liberal progressive. He was one of the original architects of the shock doctrine in the post-Soviet Union, but when he realized that corruption was making it impossible for those gains to go to the people, he actually stopped. He actually opposed the shock doctrine when he realized it was hurting the former Soviets, which, again, a level of humanity higher than I expect from most billionaires there. Recognizing their behaviors is harming people, and then, sorry, shock therapy, not shock doctrine. Recognizing their behavior is harming people and then stopping it is, I mean, I expect less. Apart from that, George Soros is unremarkable, save being relatively left-leaning for a billionaire. He has done nowhere near as much for progressive causes as like the Koch brothers have done for conservative causes. If one is to complain about secretive financier billionaires like promoting political movements, the conservative groups have had literally like exponentially more people backing them than any progressive group. Sorry, lefty billionaire is just not a popular archetype. Anyway, you see these euphemisms get thrown around, and I want it to be known, when people like Tucker Carlson talk about globalism, George Soros, white birth rates, even if Tucker Carlson is not himself a neo-Nazi, and I believe he'll say whatever he's told to say. So let's talk instead about the people telling him what to say. Murdoch. Is Murdoch a neo-Nazi? I don't think so. I think Murdoch is an obscenely wealthy man who wants to tailor Fox News talking points to capture as many votes as possible so Republicans continue to vote for tax breaks for the wealthy. And I think they know that one of the best ways of doing that is to have rhetoric that appeals to neo-Nazis, because there are a decent number of them in the country. Not all of them are full-on skinheads, but people who believe in a deep state globalist agenda to destroy the white race with immigration. Yeah, it's not that uncommon. And that is why not only are those common talking points for conservatives all around the country, politicians, pundits, that is why you saw things go down with Kanye the way they did, where Kanye started going crazier and more conservative. They were all for it. 2018, 2019, 2020, MAGA hat, all that crap. They love this shit. They're losing their mind over it. And then Kanye, starts talking about how white lives matter with Candace Owens. And, the GOP is just losing. They love that shit, he's owning the libs with his white lives matter talking points. So, wait, Murdoch is a Nazi. He says Jews runs the media. Is that true? Rupert Murdoch and the Jewish-owned press. This is from 10 years ago, but he's also ancient, so I think we can count it. Murdoch tweeted, "Why is Jewish-owned press so consistently anti-Israel in every..." Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Rupert Murdoch does seem to be a little bit incensed with the idea that Jewish-controlled media opposes him. All right, well, let's move. Yeah. All right. Okay, so anyway, let's amend my earlier point. Everyone is neo-Nazis except for us. Okay, so basically, here's the issue. The problem is that conservatives are relying on Nazi talking points to promote their ideology in like a broader, cast a broader net. The problem is there are limits even to this, because the moment you start explicitly naming Jews, there are a couple of things you can't do. You can't explicitly name Jews. You can't claim that white people are superior in an objective sense, and you can't praise Hitler or the Nazis. Those are like the three big ones. Your results may vary, but these are lines that, for the most part, conservative pundits and conservative politicians have tried not to cross because they're fairly unambiguous. Yeah, everything else is fair game. For example, Jordan Peterson is known basically mostly for the cultural Marxism conspiracy theory. The idea that a secret cabal of liberal progressives controls media and culture and are doing so to destroy the white man. Identical to cultural Bolshevism, the neo-Nazi the Nazi conspiracy theory that Jews are the liberal progressives who secretly control media and culture and do it to destroy white men. Right. It's the same theory. He literally just took Jew out of it and left it through implication. And yeah, no, JP has said some weird stuff about, like birth rates too. There are lines that you can't cross, but you can run right up to them. Kanye is exceptional because he's mentally ill enough that he ran past the lines. If Kanye was just a little bit more mentally there, he could have been a hero to the conservatives without changing any of his ideology. Instead of saying Jew, he could have just said deep state, globalist, and George Soros. Literally. And just don't talk about Hitler. Don't talk about the Nazis. Say deep state, Soros, globalist, instead of saying the Jews. And he would have been fine. And that's what a lot of conservatives are doing. When they say deep state, globalist, Soros, in their head, they hear Jew, but they know what to say. Don't deny the Holocaust. Yeah. So in a way, we kind of benefit a little bit from how crazy Kanye is. Hopefully, this is my hope, My hope is that Kanye can kind of like pull the wool off some people's eyes. Hey, why is it that Kanye was like fully in line with conservative talking points and being celebrated by them up until about a week ago, at which point all he did was, slightly up his rhetoric, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, he's a Nazi. How does this fit exactly with the the conservative theory that Nazism is a left-leaning ideology, that he was getting farther and farther and farther right, more and more based, more and more MAGA-pilled or whatever. And then, oh, I guess he's a national socialist now somehow. Yeah. I think it's genuinely concerning how, like, bad of a job conservative pundits have done of distancing themselves from his talking points, because it really makes it feel as though they no longer see a need in being covert, you know? That we could pretty soon just see open, like, Jew posting or open Hitler posting or Holocaust denial as like an integrated part of conservative advocacy. And a lot of people who watch me think, oh, they wouldn't go that far. Oh, their voters wouldn't go that far. Yeah, they would. Don't be delusional. Of course they would. Are you kidding me? The QAnon conspiracy theory is a neo-Nazi group that is already it, if you can be fooled by, like, QAnon, like, not being a neo-Nazi group, then, like, Schmadolf Schmittler, like, what else could fool you? You're like the cartoon characters who ask, which way did they go? Because the protagonist, like, put on a different hat, and they're like, oh, hello, sir, with the hat. Where did this guy who looks just like you but without a hat go? I went over that way. Okay, like, that's you. You're that person. Like the QAnon conspiracy theory. You mean the idea of a great awakening where real patriots will take back the streets as they promote an autocratic dictatorship as a way of purging the government of deep state elitists who use in satanic rituals children's blood to elongate their lives and oppose Christian white majority. Come on, Jesus Christ. The central mythology of QAnon is the day of the rope. It's the Turner Diaries shit. It's the storm. That's what they call it, the storm. When an authoritarian strongman that they value takes charge to oust the globalists from the government so they can take to the street and kill the race trader. I mean, regular traders to white America. It's Schmadolf Schmittler shit, you know? It's Schmittler particles. But you all get what I'm saying, right? The real question here is, like, how effectively will Republicans be able to balance this plausible deniability with the increasing push from some elements of their party to be open with it and just drop the dog whistles? Where that'll go, I don't know, but it's a scary time to be alive and a scary time to know anything about politics. It would be a lot easier if you didn't know anything, but unfortunately, um, you know, it's yeah. Yeah, QAnoners will frequently just say Jews, you know, they're not averse to just being direct with that. It is indeed cursed knowledge, unfortunately, but yeah, you know. Kanye could have been an artist. He was an artist for a long time. But we're done with that now. People in his mind state can't really create art that well anyway. I mean, you could ask the man. It's like mortuary assistant. You could ask him to, like, draw a circle and without looking, and he would, like, draw, like, the Happy Merchant art. You know what I mean? His mind is just too fixated on Jews. Tim with the L. Oh yeah, I saw this as well. This was an absolute classic. Let's end on this, okay? Because it's too funny. Just 1 hour or so before Kanye went on the live stream, Tim Pool tweeted, "I think he could actually win the presidency." Again, to be clear, Tim Pool fully okay with Nazi ideology. Fully okay with it. He'll promote it by proxy, by dog whistle. He will have Nazis on his platform. He'll treat them with a light touch. You know, he just doesn't want to get his channel banned by YouTube. So he'll you know, he'll not fully adopt the farthest, like, you know, most explicit variant of his talking point. Oh, yeah, and last thing for real this time, yeah. Apparently a ton of people in the Kanye subreddit are talking about closing the sub. Look at this. After the InfoWars live stream, they're like, yeah, just close the sub. Just close it. Close it. It's done. It's done. We're done. Look at this. That's a good community right there. You know? I mean, what is this sub for, right? Pack it up. Yeah, pack it up, lads. There's nothing for us here. What subreddit is this? The Kanye one? It is indeed the Kanye one. The whole sub right now is trashing him, which thank God for that, huh? Kanye just said on InfoWars, I like Hitler. Kanye West made graduation. This individual right here, however, is Ye. It's what I'm going to tell myself. There we go. We have a cope. We've got a cope, guys. We've got one. That's an okay cope. West sub ever. Yes. As he continues his downward trajectory, we no longer wish to be using our sub as a platform, as what he is saying is hateful. Based. Listen, in the coming weeks and months and days and what have you, conservatives are going to try to make you feel like you're crazy, like you're hysterical, like you're censorious for wanting there to be social consequences to a person being an open neo-Nazi. And let me tell you, there is nothing wrong with every social consequence to being a neo-Nazi. Leaving aside the fact that Kanye is an ultra-wealthy, powerful guy who could do anything he wanted for the rest of his life with no threat whatsoever to his person or to his livelihood. Leaving aside that fact, no, actually, the most human thing you can do is ensure that they fully experience social consequences. That is, you know, they're like, the woke left wants me to have no friends because I just said that Hitler is good. Yeah, actually, yes, that's true. Yeah, it's a very, very, very far line, and you still crossed it. You know, yeah, that's normal. And the people who say otherwise, the people who say, oh, you're censoring him by closing the sub down. You snowflakes can't even handle the person the sub was made around betraying his fan base and supporting Nazi ideology. Those people are sick. They're sick in the head. They're broken up here. They're either lying deliberately because they like playing the free speech angle. Funny, by the way, how every time those people go on the free speech angle, it's because they're defending Nazism, right? Literally, like every time. Never has a conservative stepped up and gone, well, free speech, defend to the death, and it's for something meaningful. It's always for the absolute dredge, the shit at the bottom of the shoe of humanity, which they just so happen to agree with, you know, coincidentally. Yeah, it's never defending protests. It's never anything meaningful. It's always the worst humans on earth. You know, they're sick. They're dishonest. They're ill. I do not support them. Highly cringe. Get them out of here. They defend Jan 6, but not BLM. Yeah, the peaceful protesters that got picked up by unmarked Fed vans, interrogated, then dropped off in explicit violation of their constitutional rights. Those people are thugs who deserved it. But Ashley Babbitt, who got shot because she was midway through a window trying to siege the Capitol building to kill politicians so she could enact dictatorship for Donald Trump. Oh, she's the victim, you know. Yeah, okay, gotcha.